Greetings, I'm LaShondra Little, and I serve as the Vice President of the South Metro Democratic Women's Council. The purpose of our organization is to create awareness and facilitate support for various social issues and programs that are concerned to women within the South Metro region. The South Metro Democratic Women's Council is extending an invitation to all eligible candidates to be interviewed with us that are running in the municipal election happening on November 2nd, 2021. We've sent the email to every candidate within the South Metro region. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing you to candidate Jaceey Sebastian in the City of South Fulton, who's running for the position of City Council. So to get us started, Mrs. Sebastian, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Sister LaShondra. It's good talking to you. Thank you to the South Metro women, my sisters, for the Democratic Party. Well, first of all, let us start right there. Obviously, a lot of people on the campaign trail have asked me, first thing they say, are you a Democrat? So I'm happy to tell them yes, but I do say that I am willing to work with everyone. As when we did the campaign for cityhood, we had Democrats, we had Republicans, we had independents. So I'm willing to work with anyone as long as we work towards the benefit of the community. And so that's part. I'm a Democrat. I've lived here for 16 years. I'm a father and a husband of one wife, father of 3 kids and a husband of 1 wife. I have been a servant in my church ever since I can remember back to my young days. I still lead a couple of important committees, the men of my church, and also the finance and property group. So I do a lot of service there myself. Co-founder with my wife of Servant's Hearts Thanksgiving Luncheon, and on it goes. But right now, my aim is to become the city council person of District 4. And while a lot of my neighbors had asked me the first time around to run for city council when we founded the city, because they were like, are you going to do all this work and then sit on the side? The timing just wasn't right. And, God didn't release me then to make a run for city council. But I've gotten his release and his blessing. So that's why I'm here to become hopefully the next city council person for District 4.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about your platform and then also why you're choosing to run for this position.
It's about service, right? I've always been a servant at heart. And even throughout the last year and change when we've all had the challenge of living with a global pandemic, I've even stepped up and done some things in this community, including my own food giveaways and so on, without governmental support, just in partnership with other folks. And so I find that, with District 4, we seem to have been left behind a little bit, that we don't have a grocery store in District 4. We don't have any clothing stores in District 4. We don't have proper parks in District 4. We need help with infrastructure. We need help with lighting. We are the largest geographic district in the City of South Fulton. We have a diversity of housing stock ranging from farms to condos. And so there's a lot of potential in District 4. And so I figured I could step forward right now and help to carry things on and bring some of these things to reality. Because as I go about and talk to citizens, these are what they mention. Always no way housing, which I will absolutely not support any way houses in District 4, but they need more stuff to do here and more things to do in District 4. So that's partly why I've thrown my hat in the ring to run for city council.
Okay. And I know you said your platform was about service. Did you want to go in details about your platform?
Absolutely. Okay. I have some things that I want to suggest in terms of working with the economic development. As I mentioned, we don't have much in District 4, and it's my intent to work very closely with both the Development Authority and also our Economic Development Director to see what we can do for District 4 to bring some stuff here. Public safety is another main area of mine. I don't know if you were aware that when we were running for cityhood and during the election, my family was a victim of crime, right? Yeah, we got carjacked, and it was just in the neighborhood next door to me. And At the time, we didn't have a precinct here in District 4. Now we do have a precinct in District 4. And so we need to get that one with a little bit more man hours from our men and women of the district. So safety is something that's very important to me as well. Also, we have a lot of HOAs in the city. We have over 400 subdivisions in the city.
Mhm.
And my intention is to work with those in District 4 as much as possible to see how we can strengthen them, because I believe if we can help to strengthen our HOAs and have them running efficiently, then we can have less burden on the city, and the city can act more of an advisor and an oversight, rather than having to come out and do a lot of things like code enforcement, which can be handled at the HOA level. So while all the code enforcement will not be just on the HOAs, I think if we strengthen them and make clear distinction as to what the city is responsible for and what the HOAs are responsible for, then we can help each other and be a good complement. I'm also, as you know, I was one of the people who went on and spoke at a lot of the public meetings, right? You know, and so I'm very intimately involved in terms of the numbers of the city. And our first budget, our last budget under Fulton County was $55 million, right? And now we've just passed the budget of $125 million, $91 million of which is in the general fund. So when we were lobbying, we were right in that there is enough money here to run our own city, right? But I'm also one to think that we need to find ways to give back a little bit of that money back to our citizens. So I'm hoping that down the road we can really look at some things that we can do, because our values have gone up a lot in the last few years since cityhood has been here, but we have never lowered our millage rate, right? And so citizens are complaining that their taxes are going up and up. So we need to give ear and to see what we can do to increase the business base and take some of that burden off of the homeowners in terms of residential taxes. So those are just a few of the priorities I have. Infrastructure is something else, although we don't control everything in the infrastructure, right? I will be pushing hard and working with all levels of government to see how we can improve the infrastructure for the city, and specifically in District 4. Without proper infrastructure, there's no development. The expert always says, development follow infrastructure. And we need some more of that. We can't just keep building subdivisions without adding to the infrastructure here in District 4.
And for people who may not know, what makes you qualified for this role?
What makes me qualified? Well, I've worked not only in the private sector, but in government. And as I said before, I'm intimately familiar with not only the reasons why we formed the city, but with the things that we needed to do to get the city not only stood up, but to move it forward, right? Again, I was one of those that talked about the need to form a city and how we could manage things for ourselves and how we could support things like small business development so that money gets circulated in our community more, right? I'm also very intimately familiar with the functioning of Fulton County and some of the things that goes on at the state level, right? And it is my intent, as I mentioned before, to even work with county and state officials to do the things that we can't handle at the city level alone, for which we need their support, right? And so I think I have the ability, I have the experience of working in government, I have the experience of forming the city, I have the experience of being a long-serving HOA leader as well, right? I've served on the Cedar Grove Community Association, even as the director of public policy and legislation. So again, I have all that experience that I'm bringing at the table, including a graduate of both Fulton County Citizens University and the City of South Fulton Citizens University as well.
Okay. Well, I know you mentioned the fact that we've been in a pandemic a little bit earlier. And so the question we've been asking candidates is, since we're now going on 2 years fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, if elected, are there any legislative priorities or issues you would support as it pertains to the pandemic?
Well, without getting most people vaccinated, it's really hard for us to move past this pandemic. And the reality is COVID might be with us for a while. It's just the severity in which the population get affected by someone who gets infected with COVID. So as a city, we need to look at every and any policy that we can put in place to help bring up the vaccination level in our city, right? I know, for instance, there's a Mask Mayor campaign, but I haven't seen, much beyond that. I know the city was one of the first to pass a mask mandate and so on and so forth. But we need to keep that education going, and we need to find ways, in which we're going to push out to the population and work with, even the school district to try and get more people, vaccinated. And prayerfully, the vaccine for our children is going to be ready even before Thanksgiving. So hopefully we can convince our people to move ahead and be vaccinated and to help protect the community spread within our city and our region.
Okay. Well, what can constituents expect from you that they're currently not receiving?
One of the things I've heard over and over again, Sister, is that we don't hear much in District 4 from City Hall. And you are aware that when we were forming the city after the referendum, we established these teams that helped us to sort of vision what each department of the city need to look like, right? As from their perspective, and to try and take that information. We created some professional documents that probably were worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And we did that work for free. So one of my intent, and I've already been talking to citizens as I go about this district and even learning some more of the experts that we have here in District 4, is to really rally the citizens of District 4 to help the citizens and to help the district not only continue to vision, but actually work towards what we want as a city, as a community. I've said to many of the residents here, even today, I was outside speaking to some residents, I said, I don't expect you to elect me and send me to City Hall if you choose to do that on November 2nd, and then say, see you in 4 years at election time, right? The intent is for you to be in City Hall with me, your voice to be in City Hall with me. So as we establish these community-wide specialty groups, groups of subject matter experts, I expect those to become advisors. So when I go to my colleagues on the city council and to the mayor, then I could truly tell them that these are the experts in the community that have put towards some of the thinking towards some of the things that we're trying to do in District 4 and for the city.
Okay. So how can residents get in contact with you if they're looking to get more involved in your campaign or just to learn more information?
I can give my cell phone number as one. It's 404-594-1970, or visit my website, jaceeyfor4.com, JACEYFORFOUR.com, or jaceeyfor4, JACEYFOR4.com. And you can volunteer, you can send me messages, email through my website, right? You can sign up for yard signs, or if you want to make a financial contribution, that's welcome as well. So I look forward to continuing the dialogue and to continue to serve the people of District 4. And as I've always said, I didn't run 4 years ago, but I still continue to serve this community. And regardless of the outcome on November 2nd, I will continue to serve this community and this city that I love and that I helped to create.
And another question that has come up a lot in these interviews with the candidates, primarily in the South Metro region, is that it feels like we're becoming a little bit boxed in with the warehouses coming. What is your take on the warehouses that are coming to the South Metro region, sort of taking over in the residential neighborhoods?
Yeah, and I hear the issue with the warehouses every day, and part of my campaign is educating the citizens that the warehousing that they see happening along South Fulton Parkway, they are Union City, they're not the City of South Fulton, but at the same time, they affect all of our citizens. I've already had some conversations at the state level, for instance, and I've told them we are out of time when it comes to South Fulton Parkway. South Fulton Parkway needs to be treated as an emergency to get widening of that road. Okay, the other thing is, what we have left in District 4 especially, I will not be supporting any warehouse development, heavy industry along South Fulton Parkway. We have enough of that. If we can find an area where the cities can look at and work together and put more logistics, we have Fulton Industrial that's now as part of the city. That's where I think those kind of industry belong. We need to bring environmentally friendly development back into what we have over here in District 4 and not support heavy industry for District 4. We can't do much about what is in the ground, but I can tell you one of the things that I will do from day one is to make calls to the cities around District 4 and to try and have some civil conversations about them, about working together, to try and minimize the development of any more warehouses along the parkway. Am I promising that there's absolutely not going to be any more? We cannot force a city to do anything within their borders, right? We have to try and as much as possible in a diplomatic way as much as possible to encourage them to do something different. And if we can support them and work together on development that's on our border, that's going to be less impactful to both the residents of the city of South Fulton and the 4 cities that surround us: Union City, Chat Hills, Fairburn, and Palmetto. If we can work with those cities and try and minimize the influx of warehouses in certain areas, then I would have done my job and do what the citizens here are asking for.
Okay. Well, before we get ready to wrap up this interview, just is there any other information that we haven't covered or that you would just like residents to know as to why you're the best person for this position?
I would continue to say, if you look at our resume and the things that I've done and continue to do for this city, for instance, the very first economic development proposal that was done for the city before we had an economic development department, I don't know if you're aware, when we had the Amazon HQ2 sweepstakes going around the country, right? A group of citizens, some of us who worked on the cityhood movement, we got together and prepared a proposal, something that's worth quite a bit of money, and took it into City Hall and say, have a look at this. Why not us? The worst thing that could happen is that our name gets put in the hat. We don't win, but at least we're out there that the city of South Fulton is open for business. You know, and the government at the time, the mayor at the time, he loved it. We got some media attention from having submitted that proposal, and it's just an example again of being here for my city, and I'll continue to do so and continue to work. But if you look at my resume and what I've done to this city to get us to cityhood, and since cityhood, I've been the one who have been here serving in District 4 and who has been visible, who has been working. And when my phone rings and there's something going on in the district or the city, I'm at the call. That's not going to change. And I just want to leave the voters with this example. I got an email just today from a resident of District 4. And she said to me, "Thank you for your response." She had sent out an email to all of the candidates 10 days ago, asking them this simple question: why should I vote for you to become my city council representative? She sent an email today saying, "Mr. Sebastian, I want to thank you for your response. You have made it very easy for me to decide to vote for you because you are the only one who responded." I not only responded to her email, in my response, I promised I would send her my newsletter, my last newsletter, would outline a lot of my platform. And I also made a personal call to her. I didn't get her, but I left her a voicemail thanking her for the inquiry and just letting her know I'm here to talk anytime, right? And so today when I responded to her and thanked her for her vote, I said to her, it actually saddens me a little bit that there are 6 candidates in this race who want to become her city council person. And she sent that simple question in, why should I vote for you as your city council person? And one of us responded to her. That alone gives you an idea of where the priority of some of our folks are. This is not just getting empowered. This is a service position to serve our people of our city and for District 4. Okay, so I want to thank you guys for your time and for always, doing what you do. I look forward to working with you guys more, even as we push towards 2022 and some of the state races.
Okay. Well, thank you again, Mr. Sebastian, for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this interview with the South Metro Democratic Women's Council. This interview we feel is vital for the people and gives them a little bit more opportunity to know you on a personal level and know more about your platform. So best of luck on your future campaign.
Thank you, Sister Lizardo.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.